Hello friends and welcome to Generation Pixel. My name's Stuart and today, well, I'm going to take on a challenge. And not just any old challenge, I'm going to take on the Spell Your Name with Video Games challenge. Now normally these challenges are doled out by other people, but 1, I'm Scottish, 2, I'm nearly 50, and 3, I have blue hair. Do I look like the person who just waits for a challenge? No, I go and take it head on. So, let's get started. Like I said, this challenge wasn't issued to me directly, but there were 2 people out there that did inspire me to take on this challenge. Number 1 was Lightsaber Samurai, an exceptional young man with a bright future in the YouTube gaming community. And secondly, Pacmancase, who I discovered through Samurai Lightsaber's channel. Again, another relatively new channel, but one with such a big future. And if you love your retro and you love your collecting, this is one channel to keep your eyes open for. Now, as is traditional with these challenges, I will be expected to pass the challenge on to several other people. But for one of the challenges that I'm going to issue it straight away. And that first challenge goes to Trick Wallace. Again, Trick's channel is another new channel, but one if you're a fan of Nintendo, more specifically Nintendo Switch, and even more specifically Nintendo Switch indie games. He's been my go-to man for what he likes to call nindies for almost 2 months now, and I heartily recommend anyone to check him out. So on to the challenge for myself. Now, as I introduce myself at the beginning of every video, and please feel free to check out past videos if you're new here, my name is of course Stuart. S-T-E-W-A-R-T. That's correct, it's spelled the proper Scottish way. So to start with, I will produce letter S, and for that I would give you Silent Hill. Now, Silent Hill wasn't the first of the new wave of survival horror games that came out in that era, but it did however change the formula slightly, moving away from just physical threat and into psychological threat. And on top of that, you had the wonderful fog graphic effect, which was merely just the limitations of the PlayStation 1's graphical capabilities of the time, but it did make for a very suspenseful and often terrifying game. For T, I'm going to present to you Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. Now, this one's for the GameCube, but you can play it on anything, and back in the day I played it on the PlayStation 2. Why I picked this Tony Hawk game in particular over the other ones, the earlier ones, is quite frankly that this was probably the first one truly made with next gen graphics in mind. So despite how well loved 1 and 2 are, and they are fantastic games, including the new remasters which you should take a look at if you get the chance, Tony Hawk's 3 however was a big step up, and it's one that I hope will also get a remaster for this current generation of consoles. For E, I shall present to you a game that you probably haven't heard of, and that is Excalibur 2555 AD. Now, I'm not going to tell you too much about this game because I really want you to go out there, find it, pick it up and play it. Now, as far as I remember, it's not really that expensive, not even at the moment, but if you get a chance, this was the game that was going to take on Tomb Raider. So, for E, Excalibur 2555 AD. For W, I'm going to bring in a WWF game, and in this case, SmackDown Just Bring It. If you're going to play any WWF game, then play it old school, because let's face it, we all saw the disaster of 2020, and we don't want a repeat of that. So while we've still got the classics out there, these are the ones to grab, until 2K can make a decent game, that is. Go back, go retro. For A, I'm going to present Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Now, the reason I've chose Black Flag, despite the fact that I totally adore all the Assassin's Creed games, is this one is where they were at their pinnacle with the original formula. They had worked out all the bugs, so the gameplay was as smooth as you could ever hope for. And not only that, you were a pirate. You got to sail on pirate ships, you got to blow up other ships. In my mind, there was no better game in the Assassin's Creed franchise, well, the first half of the franchise, than Assassin's Creed Black Flag. For A, I'm going to choose Red Faction Guerrilla. Now, the reason I choose this is quite simple. It's probably one of the most fun games you'll ever play. And why? Because just about everything in the game is destructible. You can take that big mallet and just go smash everything to smithereens. There might have been nothing new about the gameplay or the mechanics of the game, but for me, just having the option to run about causing havoc, running amok, causing wanton damage, I couldn't think of a better way to spend a couple of hours after a hard day at work. And for the final letter, which is T for the second time, I'll give you Tomb Raider Anniversary Edition. Now the reason I'm picking the Anniversary Edition is that tank controls from the PlayStation 1 era weren't quite everyone's cup of tea. So if you want to experience that story, but you don't want the hassle of the tank controls and want to play something with slightly more modern controls, then obviously go for the Anniversary Edition. And I heartily recommend that everyone does. And also that you go back and play those tank controls and just see exactly what we had to do back in the day. So there we have it, my friends, my name spelled out in video games. Now, as the challenges demand, I should dole out this challenge to others. Now, I've already issued the challenge to Trick Wallace, so next I'm going to challenge BrewUnited. I'd like to see what he comes up with. And for my third challenge, you know what? I'm going to challenge anyone who watches this video, because we shouldn't wait for a challenge to come to us, we should go to it. And I've put the links down in the description for the channels that I have nominated and for the channels that inspired me to take on this challenge. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, as it means the world to me and everyone else out there that you follow and support. Also, really comment. Nothing drives the channel quite like comment. And of course, if you want to see more, it's as simple as hitting the subscribe button, which I'm going to put down in this corner here. And of course, there'll be other videos you can look back on, like this one here. So, until next time, thank you very much and bye!